Hello everyone, I'm waiting for the LinkedIn live to begin. Now we can resume what we were doing yesterday. For your controls element, create three button element. So it should have an ID. Now we have JavaScript interact with HTML using document object model or DOM. The DOM is a tree of object that represents the HTML. You can access the HTML using document object which represents your entire HTML document. One method for finding specific elements in your HTML is using the query selector method. The query selector method takes a CSS selector as an argument and turns the first element that matches that selector. For example, to find h1 element in HTML, you would write let h1 equals to document dot query selector h1. That h1 is a string and matches the CSS selector you would use. Create a button one variable. We'll create a button one variable and use query selector. Query selector to assign your element with the ID button one. So it's a hopefully this should work. It does. Okay. So we'll have to always put it as string inside the query selector, no matter if it is a class or an ID or a normal element like h1. So we have run into a slight problem. You are trying to query your page for a button element, but but your script tag is in the head of the HTML. Yes, yes. This means your code runs before the browser has finished reading the HTML, and your document query selector will not see the button because the browser hasn't processed it yet. To fix this, move your script element out of the head element and place it at the end of your body element just before closing body tag. Once again, we have this add. So button 1 is a variable that is not going to be reassigned. So if you are not going to reassign a variable, it's better to put it as a constant. Declare it. Now, this will tell JavaScript to throw an error if you accidentally resend. Change your button 1 variable. Done. Use query selector to get the other two button elements using their ID. Store them in variables called 2, 3. Remember to use constant. Okay. The same thing. You can just copy this. Go to next line paste. Go to next line paste. Change it to button 2, button 3. Change it to button 2, button 3, and done. Similar to your stats element, your monster stat element needs two span elements. Give them the class stat and give the first element the text monster name and this. Okay, so we'll first put two span element and it has a class. Now we'll copy this span, paste it here. The first one has a class of stat. Second one has a class of both has the class stat. Okay. First one has a text of monster name. This one has a text of health. After the text in each, add a strong element with the empty nested span element. Give the first inner span element an ID of monster name. Monster health. Your text element the following text. Now we need some quick styling. Start by giving the body background color of 0A0A23. Give the text background color 0A0A23, color of padding is 10 pixels everywhere. Your game maximum width of max width, no? Margin, top margin is 30 pixel, left and right is auto, 0 pixel, auto. Padding of 10 pixels. Using a selected list, give both your controls and stats. Stats. Border of 1 pixel solid 0 A0823. Text color 0 A0A23 and padding of 5 pixels. Give your monster stats the same border and padding as your stats. The color will be different. Just copy this, paste it here. Color is different, so we'll just white and give it a background color C70D0T. For now, hide your monster stats element with the display property. Do not change any of the other style. Display, is it hidden? Forgot the property. None. अच्छा. Give your dot stats. Uh, Padding right of 10 pixel. Finally, you will need to add some styles for your buttons. Start by setting the cursor property to pointer. Okay. Set the background image property to linear gradient. Let's say for fun fact, if you are coding or whatever, doesn't matter. But always take some break between. जैसे मैं भी अभी कोड करते हुए थोड़ा सा ब्रेक ले रहा हूँ. इट इज़ इम्पोर्टेंट बिकॉज आपके आईज पे फ़र्क पड़ता है, आपके कॉग्निटिव पावर्स पे फ़र्क पड़ता है. व्हेन यू कीप एट समथिंग इतना फोकस और इतना डेडिकेशन से आप स्क्रीन की तरफ देखते रहते हो, इट्स नॉट अ गुड थिंग. तो इसलिए आप करो, बट थोड़ा ब्रेक ले लेके. ठीक है. लुक एट समवेयर एल्स, लुक एट समथिंग ग्रीन, ड्रिंक सम वाटर, थोड़ा चल के आओ वापस. दैट्स हाउ यू डू इट. ओके. So just like you did the buttons, create variables for the following ID. Okay. And use query selector to give them the uh, element as values. Text, XP text, health text, bold text, and whatever. Remember to declare this as constant. So let's go. So we are going to create constant of something. So I'm just keeping it vacant so that I can copy paste. Okay. So document dot query selector, and then you have a double quotation of something again, and this is we'll have to do. You can copy this. So we need it for 1 2. So 1 is done already, so 2 3 4 5 6. So 5 times 1 2 2 uh, 3, and 3 more times. Now we gotta copy this thing, text, copy it here. Query selector, I have to check the HTML. So text is an ID, so we can do the hashtag here. Wait, hashtag XP text, and XP text is a ID. Health text, health text is also an ID. Gold text, gold text is ID. Monster stats, monster stat is an ID. Last is monster name. Monster name is also an ID. Text variable should have the value of hashtag text element. It does. What's the problem? Oh, I did a spelling mistake throughout. Great. Now it's correct. Finally, use query selector to get the monster health element because you have already declared a monster health variable earlier. To use a different variable name for this element. I have yes, I have constant keyword and name it monster health text. And we have monster health. Already starting to look a lot like the uh, s- problem we were the end result. It looks like that, but it doesn't have the features yet. That's what we are going to do in JavaScript, but definitely looks like what we were trying to build in this entire thing. Like, in the preview, this is exactly how it looked, but it doesn't have the functionality yet. If you now go to cave, it won't work. I'm clicking right now the go to cave button, it doesn't work. So those functionalities are to be provided now. So in the previous project, you learned how to create a function like this. Function, then we have a function name, and this is how you create. So create an empty function go store. So we'll create a function go store. For now, make your go store function output the message going to store. So we'll just write console log going to store. Now create a go cave function that prints going to cave. Function go cave console log going to cave. To check how much we have done, we have done 19%. The first two we have already completed. It's a very long uh, project, but we'll get through it. After that, we'll do debugging, validation, norm manipulation, basic string and array, and data objects, and then we build the first project. There's a lot more to it. Slow and steady. Slow and steady still wins the race, by the way. I mean, a lot of people would say that slow is not the way to go in today's day and age, which is kind of true. I won't deny that, but it still is better than not doing anything. because a lot of people are so demotivated that they won't even like go through their plans because they are slow. So it's better to be slow than to not even do anything. Okay, moving ahead. Now create a this function. So we'll write a function fight dragon, and simply we just write fighting dragon. So now we are to uh, initialize buttons. So button 1 represents your button element. These elements have a special property called on click, which you can use to determine what happens when someone clicks that button. Okay, you can access properties in JavaScript a couple of different ways. The first is with dot notation. Here is an example of using dot notation to set on click property of a button to a function reference. So if we do button, I mean the variable name, then put dot on click equal to the function. The example button is the button element and my function is a reference to the function. Where the button is clicked, my function will be called. Okay. You use dot notation to set the on click property of your button 1. So first we'll do button 1 dot on click. It's like console log or any of the previous. We have done a lot of push, on push. Then we have unshift, etc. All were dot notation only. The button is clicked. So we'll do a function reference of go store. So yes, I know. So go store. This is the function. I think this should work. No. Uh, Make sure not to call the function. Oh, I'm calling the function. I am. Take a break, guys. Anybody who is watching me, drink some water. Come back again. Take 2 seconds break. Stay hydrated, guys. Chalo, ads. Ads are done. Using the same syntax, set the on-click property for button 2 and button 3. So we can just copy this, paste it here, paste it here, change this to button 2, and this is button 3. So button 2 will have a property of go give. So we are not to call the function, so we just write the name of the function. And this third one is fight dragon. Fight dragon. Oh, dragon. Once you have done that, open your console and try clicking the buttons on your. So we'll open the console and now we can click the button. Going to store, going to cave, fighting dragon, going to cave. So the buttons are properly working because when you click it, it is calling the function and executing the function as well. So it's properly working. Now the inner text property controls the text that appears in an HTML element. For example, we have the PID some info, then we have text and this. Example code will be constant of we are declaring a variable info, then document query select this ID. So we are assigning this ID to this variable and making it a constant, so it can't be changed in the next line of codes or in future codes. Then we are doing a inner text, should call it function in a way, but yeah, whatever. Think of it as a function only. It's a function because shift, unshift, push, all of that. Then pop, we have all the functions were declared with dot notations only. So this is probably also a function. So info dot inner text is the function equal to hello world. So the following example would change the text in the P of demo content from demo content to hello world. Interesting. So when a player clicks your go to store button, you want to change the buttons and text. Remove the code inside the go store function and add a line that updates the text of button 1 to say buy 10 health, 10 gold. So we are to change this. Remove the code inside the go store. So we first remove the entire thing and add a line that updates the text of button 1. So it will take button 1 and it will update the text with the function inner text, and it does, sorry, it says buy 10 health bracket 10 gold. So if I now open the console, this is the go store button. If I click go store, it says buy 10 health 10 gold. Button text changes if you click. And if I keep clicking, nothing works. But if I click on the other ones, the function still is generating, is printing out the text in the console. Hello. Um, Now add a line that updates the text of button 2 to say buy weapon of this. And update the text of button 3 to say go to town. So we are to update the same in the same function of go store, which is a little weird. So if I click here right now, only this changes buy 10 health 10 gold. But if I now change the two other text, the go to, clicking on the go to store button will also change the text in go to cave and fight dragon button. Okay, this is not a desired function. I guess they are just trying to teach us how things work by making us repeat something which actually is not the goal of this project right now. But yeah. Yes. So now if I click the go through button, all the text of the three buttons will change. See. But if I open the console, if I still click the second button and third button, the other two functions are also getting executed. But if I click on the first button, because the text have already changed, it is changing, but you are not seeing any change because it has already been changed. So it's just repeating itself. So if we don't see the change, but it is executing every time you click this button. So are these. Now that we have, you will also need to update the functions that run when the buttons are clicked again. So in your go store function, update the on click property for each button to run, buy health, buy weapon, and go down respectively. Hmm. Okay. So in your go store function, update the on click property for each button. So we'll go for button one on click. Sorry, they are all small. On click to run buy health. Buy health is a function which haven't been declared yet. I guess I haven't written the function yet. There's only go cave, fight dragon, and go store. So buy health is a function which will come later, I guess, which we'll write later. So right now I can just uh, copy paste. This would be button 2, button 3. We have buy weapon, and this is go down. Now you need to modify your display text. So change the inner text property of the text variable to be you entered the store. So we'll change the inner inner text of the property text variable. So text, and we'll change the inner text in it. So inner text, and make it you enter the store. Oh, there's a full stop here. Now when I click the button, this should change. It should work, or have I done something wrong? We are clicking on the button here. Oh, buy health is not defined. Buy weapon is also not defined, and of course go down is not defined, but this text is not executing because these three are not defined. Let me change this text and put it here. Will this work now? Yes, it does. So the first function that it's not working, the program is stopping right there, and it is not reading the functions written, or the commands written later. Now it changes. Create three new empty functions called. So we are now to create three new empty functions, of course, because we have already have declared those functions in the previous go store function. So one is buy health, then we go ahead and do function for buy weapon, and then we do a function for go to town. Move your goTown function above your goStore function. Then copy and paste the contents of the goStore function into the goTown function. So first we'll move the goTown function above the goStore function, and then copy and paste the contents of the goTo function in the goTown function. So if I copy and paste, not cut and paste, so it should stay in both. Yes. So what it does is if I now click here, it says you're at the store. If I open the console, nothing. If I click here, doesn't do nothing. If I click here, doesn't do nothing. So in your goTown function, change your button elements inner text properties to be go to store, go to cave, and fight dragon. Go to store, स्टोर का एस छोटा है, go to store, go to cave, fight dragon. Update your on-click properties to be go store, go cave, and fight dragon respectively. Go store, go cave, fight dragon. Finally, update the inner text property of your text to be you are in the town square. So we are going to change the inner text here. Now if I, oh, there's a quotation twice. So now the code passes. If I click on go store, they all change. But if I click on fight dragon, fighting dragon, go to cave, go to cave, going to cave. If I click on this, these three change, but the last one is go to town square now. So if I click on buy weapon, buy 10 health, nothing happens. But if I click on go to town square, it'll go back to the go town square button. You are in the town square. You've seen a sign that says store. Go to store, go to town square, you are in the town square. So this one logic has been established now. Need to wrap the text store in double quotes because your string is already wrapped in double quotes. You'll need to escape the quotes around store. You can escape them by a backslash. Here is an example. So we have constant escaped string. Naomi likes to play Zelda sometimes. Okay. Okay. So wrap the store in double quotes within your text inner text line. We have text in a text line, and here we have a store. So this store thing should have double quotes. So we'll write a quotation like this, and then we go ahead and finish it with again a quotation. Yeah, so you should wrap the text store in double quotes. I did. Oh, oh, okay, okay. I also included the full stop. Fine. We'll put the full stop later. Here. Now it should work. Now if I open the console and click on go to store, you entered the store. But if I click town square, so now you are in the town square using a sign that says double quotation store. We have bypassed the uh, double quotation I mean way of declaring string in JavaScript by putting a uh, forward slash before it. Like here we have put a forward slash, then we have put a double quotation. Now this is not recognized as a string declaration in JavaScript. You have repetition in the go down and go store function. Yes, repetition in your code is a sign that you need another function. In the previous project, you learned how to work with function parameters like this. Yes, we declare a function of some function, then we have a parameter, and then inside the function, we have a console log of that parameter or anything else. It's just a example. Whatever parameter we have declared, we can use it inside the function. The function parameters act as placeholders for values that you pass to the function when you call it. So create an empty update function that takes a parameter called location. So we'll do a function that call update, and it takes a parameter which is called the location, and it's an empty function, so we just have two curly braces and this should work. Now in your role-playing game, you will be able to visit different locations like the store, the cave, and the town square. So you will need to create a data structure that will hold the different locations. Use constant to create a variable called location and assign it empty array. So we'll do a constant of locations, and we are going to assign an empty array. Then before you can begin to build out your location arrays, you will first need to learn about objects. Okay. Objects are an important data type in JavaScript. The next few steps will be dedicated to learning about them, so you will better understand how to apply them in your project. So objects are non-primitive data types that store key value pairs. Non-primitive data types are multiple data types that are not undefined, null, boolean, number, string, or symbol. Mutable means that the data can be changed after it is created. So here is the basic syntax for an object. Two curly braces, and inside this we have key colon value. You will learn about keys and values in the next few steps. So for now, create a constant variable called cat and assign it an empty object with two curly braces. So we have to create a constant called cat, and we are going to assign it an empty object with two curly braces. Okay. Below that cat variable, add a console log statement to see the object in the console. So we will do console log of cat. If I open the console, I can see the object here with two curly braces. Now, objects are similar to arrays. So except that instead of using indexes to assess and modify their data, you access basically the data in objects through properties. So properties consist of a key and a value. We have key, this name is the key and this is the value. The key is the name of the property and the value is the data stored in that property. So here's an example of an object with a single property. So we have constant object. This is the object declaration. Here we have one name and this is the property. Means key, sorry, one key and property. Key name is the key, and Quincy Larson string is the property of the key name. So inside your cat object, add a new property. The key should be name. So we'll add a key that is called name, and we give it a property of string which is whiskers. Put a colon. Open the console to see the updates. So we'll open the console. Where am I wrong? Oh, I shouldn't have given colon. Okay. We have name whiskers. If the property name key of an object has a space in it, you will need to use single or double quotes around the same. Here is an example. So here we have a spaced out key. So we are using double quotation to denote it. So if you try to write a key without the quotes, it would throw an error. Add a new property. First, I would like to open the console just to see what's working and what's not. So add the new property with the key of number of legs. Oh, so we are to give comma and I did colon. Okay. So the new property with the key of numbers of legs. It's a cat, so it should have 4 legs. That's 4. Once again, I have 4. Yes. So this is like a array, but with curly braces, and it's not an array; it's an object. Because inside array as well, we don't put double colon; we put comma to separate the data stored in one stored in each slot of the array basically. That object should have a key called number of legs. It has, oh, I said numbers of legs. Okay, these silly mistakes, we all do it. We'll do the stream for 10 more minutes, then I have to take a break for some time because I have other work for last 10 minutes. There are two ways to access the property of an object: dot notation and the bracket notation, similar to an array. So dot notation is what you use when you know the name of the property you are trying to access ahead of time. So we have object dot property and colon. So this is when you know the name of the property. It is an example of dot notation to read the name property of the developer object. So we have constant. We are declaring a constant developer uh, and and giving it the property of a object. Inside it we have a key called name, and its value is Jessica, a string. So we are trying to console log the developer dot name here, so it will print out Jessica. So update your console log to access the name property of the cat object using dot notation. So we'll do cat name. I think yes, we have whiskers, so it should come up as whiskers. Open the console to see the name whiskers. So let me open the console and we can see whiskers right here. Here we can put colon, by the way. The second way to access the properties of an object is bracket notation. If the property of the object you are trying to access has a space in its name, you will need to use bracket notation. So okay. So in case of space, you must use acha. So here's we have spaced name, and here to denote that we put the space object of this. So update the console statement to use bracket notation to access the property number of legs. So here we'll have to do cat, and here double quotation, uh, number of legs. Open the console, it should say 4. Later on in the curriculum, you will dive deep into objects, but for now, it is time to apply what you have learned to your role playing game. So, start by deleting your cat object and console statement. So, your locations array will hold different locations like the store, the cave, and the town square. Each location will be represented as an object. So inside your locations array, add an object. Inside that object, add a key called name with a value of town square. So we are to add an object. So let me add an object, and inside that we will put name, town square. We are not assigning this object to any variable right now. Okay, mistake. And now it's fine. This is location is an array. Inside that, the first element of the array is a object. Just like array values, object properties are separated by comma. Add a comma after the name property and add a button text property with the value of an empty array. Since the property name has a space in it, you will need to surround it with quotes. First, we'll put comma, go to the next line, and double quotation, button text, and we will declare it as an empty array. Leave it there. And yes, you're correct. Give your empty button text array 3 string elements. Use the three string being use the 3 strings being assigned to the button inner text properties in the goTown function. So empty button text array, we are going to give 3 string. Okay. Use the 3 strings being assigned to the button inner text properties in the goTown function. Use the three strings being assigned to the button in the text properties in the button 1, button 2, and button 3. Slightly struggling to understand right now. Should I just put go down? No. The first value in the button text array should be go to store. Okay. Okay. So made it too difficult to understand what's doing. Now I got it. So it should be go to store, go to cave and fight dragon. Once again we have this add. Meanwhile, if you are watching anytime, do take a break. Consider these ads as reminders to take a break, drink some water. Create another property in your object called button functions. Inside our object, we are going to create another property which will be called button functions. Give this property an array containing the three functions assigned to the on-click properties in the goTown function. So we are going to the goTown. We have three on-click property: go store, go cave, and fight dragon. These are functions, but we are not calling the functions. So go store, go cave, fight dragon. We are very close to. Uh, you know what? I think we'll just shut this uh, live stream for now. I'll be back. We have finished almost 32% of the challenge. It's a very big challenge with 173 steps, but we are getting there. It's pretty difficult as well, so it's taking time. So yeah, that's that's it for today. That's it for now. Not today. We'll come back again after a break.